Hello everyone and welcome back to my Eruption of Shame. Today another sad special episode. There has obviously been another tragedy in the world in the form of the Syrian earthquake and Turkey earthquakes. So yes, that's not good. That's not good at all. And with it, of course, comes another charity bundle. So the charity bundle this time round, it says here the Turkiye Syria Earthquake Relief Bundle. Now, these bundles are rare, but we have seen a couple, unfortunately, the last few years. So obviously there was the COVID bundle. We've had the Ukraine bundle. There's been the Australian bushfires bundle. There's been a lot. There was a racial justice bundle. A lot of these bundles that come out, and they're 100% donating to charity. So if you don't like any of the developers, this is the perfect time to buy them. For one, but for two, this is a sort of charity thing. So if you don't want any of these games, you may still wish to buy the bundle and find out what you can get, whether it's find out what you can get to give out to other people or find out what you get for yourself because you love games. These are great bundles to start up whole new collections if you're a brand new gamer, usually, and we'll see if this one stands up as well. So keep in mind, I'm not doing this to critique the bundle. I am going to be doing that, and I am going to be showing you some data, some breakdowns like the stuff you saw before, and we're going to be talking about each of these games and if I think this bundle is a good bundle or not. That being said, the obviously summary of this will be, yeah, it's worth it just because it is for charity. But yes, so as you can see, this bundle has 72 items and not all of them are games. I believe the total number of games is 69. Nice. So there are also there is a core rulebook for Starfinder, a couple of random comics, and that's about it. As usual, these bigger bundles can often have other games added to them at a later date, and if you purchase it now, you will of course get to keep that. So you'll get to keep any extra that they add in. The price for entry is usually pretty high for these sort of games, for these sort of bundles, and it's no different here, $43 Australian and your regional equivalent. And yeah, there's been a few questions about whether this bundle is really quote unquote worth it. And it is true. There's a slightly lesser number of interesting titles versus, say, the Ukraine bundle that came out last year. But once again, this is about charity. So yes, let's have a look though at this breakdown. So there's a bunch of new games, as you can see, and a bunch of old games, and a bunch of all the games in the middle. So there's a bunch of different things. Most of them, over half of them, are very positive or above. If you count positive as your wheelhouse, over 75% of them are positive of some form. That being said, there's a lot of cheap indie titles in here and a lot of local Turkish devs with very cheap games that they've been releasing for their own markets. And yeah, a lot of them might be completely new to you. As you can see, there's quite an interesting breakdown. Once again, I just used the same chart as I had done for the last two Jingle Jams. And I'm pretty sure I used the same chart for last time I did this as well. But as you can see, in a brief sense, I obviously just did this very quickly. There's probably better ways of breaking this down. Like there's a couple of platformers I could have put down as platformers, and apparently I completely forgot I had platformer as an option. A lot of them went to adventure or action, but yes, as you see, few strategies, few action, few simulation, few adventure, few arcade, and a fair number of RPGs. So it's an okay breakdown, but it's okay. It's okay. Now, we've got a bunch of games that have been released. The newest games are 4 games that have been released in 2023, and a bunch of games released in 2022. And of course, the oldest game this time around is a 2020. It's actually a 2012 game. For some reason, it's not there. I think there was a 2012 game that I remember putting on the list, but if not, it's 2013. So oh wait, no, 2010. There's actually a 2010 game as well. Okay, never mind. Actually, there's also a 1999 game. So yeah, I guess this is completely useless at the moment, but that's okay. I didn't expect to have such old titles, but that's okay. We're going to go through and have a look at them. Now, I've got this in a lovely little table here, which means I will be able to sort them and show you the bunches one by one. So the first section is obviously going to be overwhelmingly positive. And there's only 4 titles here. And they're a little bit niche, but, overwhelmingly positive doesn't lie. So let's have a look at them first. All right, so the first 4 games, the overwhelmingly positive games, start with Euro Truck Simulator 2. Now, this game is something that some people really love a lot. It's a game where you drive a truck and you do jobs, and it is very zen and relaxing. There's even inbuilt radios often in these games. This particular one has a fair number of DLC as well. Probably more than you could possibly ever consider owning, but that's okay. Overall, it is what it is. People really swear by this game. You've probably seen it before. If you want it, you probably already own it. If you don't have it, well, congratulations, you'll get it if you buy this bundle. The next game is System Shock 2. Now, this one is very much a, shall we say, a cult classic. People consistently talk about how great System Shock is. It's sort of, I think it bombed at the time of release, but it's since became a bit of a cult classic. It's in a similar vein to Deus Ex and other, Deus Ex. It's in a similar vein to Deus Ex in terms of that. And basically, it is what it is, once again. This is a good game. You probably already own it, but if you don't, it's a classic, and I definitely recommend giving it a go. Strangely enough, because it's horror, it's still on my mountain, unlike Deus Ex. So it'll be very interesting when I run into this. This is not new, however, to my mountain. It's been there for a while, so yes. Either way, System Shock 2, not a bad pickup, if a little bit old at this point, which is fine.
Yeah. Come on.
All right, sorry, that one started auto playing and I figured we'd play through it. I just did some recording with this before and I thought it was lined up, but it wasn't. I probably should have paused and set it up properly, but that's okay. Now, this game is Pilgrims. It is also classed as overwhelmingly positive. You may notice that recent reviews have only been very positive rather than overwhelmingly positive. However, I give each of these games the best possible chance they have because why not? Like, why wouldn't I? This is a game based by the team behind Mechanarium and Samaros, 2 games which I have very mixed feelings about. They're okay. I like them in concept, but I've always been pretty bad at them. This one, however, looks pretty damn beautiful, as with everything that Animata Design makes. So, yeah, I see why it's overwhelmingly positive, and I can see this as a fairly decent, if a little cheap, addition to the bundle. The next one is Mount and Blade Warband. Now, this game is also overwhelmingly positive, and you would be forgiven for thinking this was just a simple battlefield sort of a game where you're sort of like you have strategic combat on a massive field of valor, because that's what I thought it was. I honestly thought it was just a massive multiplayer thing with just not much to it besides combat. And that is the way it seems to be on the tin based on its marketing. However, if my love of Star Sector and people consistently comparing Mount and Blade Warband to Warband, Mount and Blade Warband to Star Sector has shown me anything, it's these games are much more than their peer. They are open world RPGs with massive amounts of freedom in what you can do. You can own land, you can dole that land out, you can get people married and hitched and do all sorts of crazy stuff. And it's something that I probably will end up playing and enjoying. However, it was not on my mountain. So this is one of the first games that is actually new for me, which, yeah, sure, that's good. So yeah, it's once again one of the older titles in the bundle, but not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. So yeah, if you like Mount and Blade Warband, there you go. All right, so next we start on the overwhelming or the very positive games. As you can see, there's a larger number of these here, and a lot of them are actually small indie titles, some of them even out of the countries that have been affected. So it's interesting. So Turkey and Hungary, though mainly, no, no, Turkey and Syria, though it mainly says Turkey. So fair enough. That's okay. That's okay. I don't know. Don't know. But we're going to look through all of them now and see what they're like. We're just going to go through and see each and every one of these and see if they're worth getting or what they're like. So yes. The first one is Ghost Runner, and this is a game that has came out on, well, bundles before. I already owned it. That's one way you can tell. It's made by 3D Realms, which, fair. 3D Realms is a master of the craft. If you watch the trailer, which I think we will, it's quite interesting looking. So yes, Ghost Runner. Action, a little bit of parkour there. Very high fidelity and beautiful. Has a fair number of DLC, which I don't know if it's included in this or not. It doesn't seem to be, but that's okay. So why not, right? Seems pretty good. Just like the next game, which I know is pretty good, and that is XCOM 2. Honestly, the biggest shock here is that XCOM 2, I could have sworn it used to be overwhelmingly positive. I am shocked that this game has dropped. So, XCOM 2 is a game about an alien invasion, just like XCOM 1. But here's the thing. XCOM 2 takes XCOM 1 and asks the question, what if you lost? So no longer are you defending Earth against aliens, you are basically the last-ditch rebellion against the aliens. It turns the entire genre idea on its head. Now, as you may or may not be aware, XCOM 1 was originally released in like 1993 or so, and was a fantastic cult classic where we had to fight back an alien invasion. It was later remade into XCOM by 2K and Firaxis. It was brilliant, everyone loved it, and that was that. Most people expected the next game to be Terror from the Deep remake, but it hasn't been yet. Now, Terror from the Deep did the same sort of thing as XCOM 1 in that there was another invasion and they had to fight it back. That's all they've ever done with this genre up till this point. Xenonauts also was about an alien invasion, and it was based obviously on the original XCOM. XCOM 2 did something different with its rebellion thing, and in doing so it made a really unique game. Not only is this game good in its own right, however, it also has a series of mods to make it even better. As you can see, it's currently on a very deep discount right now, to the point where you can get pretty much everything XCOM for basically nothing. If you've somehow missed out on XCOM 2, grab it. It's fantastic. It is some of the best turn-based strategy you'll ever play, and if you're worried about being too hard for you, you can even go into the XML files or download a mod to make it easier, right? Or download a mod to make it harder, or download a mod to add new stuff and just go nuts, basically, which is what I love to do. Either way, XCOM 2 is a phenomenal title. There was another XCOM game that came after it, which was once again slightly different still. And then finally, they did tease at the end of XCOM 2 that they will go back to Terror from the Deep. So I think the fact that this is in this bundle is probably a good sign that maybe we're getting just that little bit closer to having a little bit more news about the next XCOM game, which is something I would very much be happy about. But yes, for now, I think that's that. We probably don't need to watch the trailer. You've probably all seen it all before. So let's go straight to Payday 2. Payday 2 is a action-packed co-op game. Surprisingly, despite being co-op, I have actually played a fair amount of this myself. I think I played like 50, 60 hours of it with my friends until they removed or added in a silent assassin that could kill you even when you had been completely quiet. I have heard that that's been since removed, so I might try it again sometime. Now, Payday 2 has its place, and chances are you already own it. It has a heck of a lot of DLC, like a heck of a lot, that all unlock different heists and different packs and different people. And yeah, there's a lot of content here. It is a multiplayer only game though. It says it can do single player, and technically I suppose you could with the bots, but it's multiplayer. It's multiplayer. It's multiplayer. This is another game which I think is purely being included because there is Payday 3 coming out very shortly. So if you haven't already played it, do I recommend it? Currently, yes, because I am certain that the community will still be here up until the release of Payday 3 and maybe beyond if the case for, not so great games continues. So we shall see, shan't we? So good pickup.
Peggy 3.
The next game is Ticket to Ride, and I don't know if this video came out or it's coming out this week, but I find this ironic because literally I just played a kid's version of this on my Mountain of Shame. So I don't know if it's going out this week or next. I actually can completely forget. But this is basically a board game that has been created on computer so you can play it. If you know anything about this, generally you might love it because I know a lot of people who love Ticket to Ride. The computer game version is a little bit easier to understand. But yeah, it is what it is. People love it, and quite frankly, it's good. I think honestly, it's a pretty good pickup for the bundle, even if you already own it like I do, because I can give it to my friends, such as say Para, and then play with them when it comes time to do my eventual Mountain of Shame when I finally jump in and do the real thing. Next game is another one that we've seen a lot recently in bundles, Strange Brigade. This was recently included in a bundle on Fanatical, and I believe it was also included in Humble Bundle or something similar before then. And I think it may have even been given out on Epic. They really want to push this game. And quite frankly, yeah, I played this. I actually did do a video on this, and it was completely lost, and I was sad about that because it was a great video. I had a great time. I'm going to see if I can play it again now that Power and a few of my other friends own it, and see if I can maybe get another version of this going. But in general, it is fun. It is sort of gives me vibes of Left 4 Dead, but sort of Left 4 Dead crossed with, I don't know, Uncharted or Tomb Raider's aesthetic. So yeah, not bad. Very over the top. The narrator is hilarious. Good pickup if you don't have it. Okay pickup if you do. So that's another one where it's a co-op game. Giving it to your friends, not a bad idea. Next one is Stick Fight, the game. And, I mean, you can already see what it is, right? Arcadey, like just fighting your friends in an arcade, in a stadium, arena. That's the word, arena. So it does what it does. It's not really a massive pickup for me, as you can probably imagine, but that's okay. Speaking of things which aren't massive pickups for me, Farming Simulator 17. It's not even the most recent version. It's not even close to the most recent version. Is it good? I mean, according to the ratings, yes. Would I have rathered one of the newer ones? Almost certainly. I need my high resolution cocks. See, this cock here, it's not high resolution enough. Like, look at how low resolution that cock is. You can barely see its face. Very disappointing. But in general, it's a game. It exists. It's pretty cheap. Not the best pickup. Next one is System Shock Enhanced Edition. Another one of the very positives. Another RPG game, just like System Shock 2. Now, I haven't actually played this one either. However, I probably will enjoy it a fair amount, given that it has been remastered and enhanced, which will usually make it run better. But, it definitely gives me Duke Nukem 3D vibes, whether that's for good or for bad. So, yay. Another relatively cheap edition there. So, still. You do get System Stock Classic for free, so that works. Alright, let's have a look at this one, because I'm actually kind of curious as to what it is. So... Alright. I mean, it definitely looks like a game I'll suck at, but... Yes, I was wondering where I knew this game from, and it turns out it was a Kickstarter project, a successful Kickstarter project. So, yeah, fair enough. Good for them. Apparently one of the very few I didn't back, which is kind of crazy. But that's okay. Yeah, good pickup, I think. This looks fun. It looks interesting. It's a humble original, and quite frankly, yes. Yes. Ooh, hello. What's this one? Okay, as you can probably tell from my response when it first came on, I don't know what this game is, but it looks kind of fun. I'm kind of a little bit saddened that it is just a puzzle game sort of thing. But for a puzzle game, it looks pretty cool. And if that music is in the main game and its musical score keeps like banging like that, I am a-okay with that. That sounds like a fantastic pickup for this bundle. So Harmony's Odyssey. I'm okay with that. It looks adorable, it looks cute, and it's even been developed by an owl. I've got to support owl-based stuff. Alright, so the next game is Armello. Another game which I'm pretty sure has been out in bundles before. It is a strategy game, board game based. Yeah, nothing too crazy, just another strategy. Does have multiplayer as a focus or a thing you can do because obviously it's a board game. Not bad. Not bad. We have Backbone, which we'll see if this actually needs to be done or if I can just refresh. Okay, no. Nope, there it goes. I was just because literally, I had basically went through and started most of these before, but it doesn't look like the videos, like some of them aren't going through. But anyway, it's okay. It's okay. So, this one looks very interesting. Story rich, pixel graphics, casual. It says, doesn't show it's casual. It's a narrative game, and quite frankly, I'm there for it. The graphics look beautiful. The world looks really interesting. The lighting. I really don't even want to watch a trailer of this one just because I want to see what it's about. Now, this is one of those games where I'm like, well, keep in mind the ratings. I gave it very positive because that was what currently is at. Maybe some patches have came out or something. But in general, it's got relatively mixed up. Aww. Okay, well, I've got to trust it if Aggro Crab's given it Aggro Crab's given a seal of quality. Yeah, I like Aggro Crab. I just played one of those games just recently. It was great. I remember the crab and the aggroing. It was fantastic. Um, but yes, look, it feels like this game is sort of like disappointing to some, but other people say it's pretty good. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll play it. As long as it's not anything too creepy or weird, it should be just fine. It sounds entertaining. I'll give it a go. Not a bad pickup there, though I did already own it. I believe it's already been in a Fanatical bundle or two. Speaking of things which already been bundles, do you want to know what the definition of irony is? My definition of irony has just changed recently, and that is that I'm a teacher, and a lot of the keys I get, I just give them to my kids. If they do a good job, I give it to my kids, because why wouldn't I? They can take it. They're kids. They don't have money to buy their own games all the time. I'd rather give them a game. So ironically, the reason I saw this bundle today while I was at work, because obviously I don't usually look on my phone while I'm working, that goes without saying, but the reason I did was because I was going on to Humble Bundle to get a game key, and I was going to give them 911 operator, right? So literally, I just gave out my last copy of 911 operator, and what do we get? More 911 operator. And not just that, 112 operator as well, which is the newer version. The difference between them, there's not much. You can't. You might as well just go play 112 operator. To be honest, it's much better in every way. In fact, you can get mods which put all the old calls into 112 operator. But that being said, I didn't have a spare copy of 112 operator, only a 911 operator, though. Yeah, it is kind of ironic. But anyway, either way, not a bad pickup, not a bad game. Just you will probably have like 20 copies of it by now, so fair. Why is the next game Calico? Okay, sure.
Every day is something new. When my day begins with you, we've got everything we need. As long as I've got you and you've got me. If you're down and need a friend, I'll be there till the end. Through it all, I'm by your side. Whatever comes our way, rain or shine. Up early, moonshine, moonshine. Up early, moonshine, moonshine. Up early, moonshine, moonshine. I just want to stay in with you.
Look, my own jokes about not liking cats aside, Calico is incredibly charming and cute and adorable in every way it needs to be. And the fact that I can run a cat cafe entirely filled with birds, yeah, it's fine. It's cooking system leaves a little bit to be desired, but yeah. This is another game I just played through on my Mountain of Shame that more was requested of. I had to release it early when one of my friends was like, "Is that Calico?" And I'm like, "Yes, I was just playing some more because I doubt anyone's going to request any more of it." And I hadn't realized at that time the video wasn't out. And they were like, "Wait, but the video isn't out. There's no video." I'm like, oh. So I stopped playing it and was like, okay, I'll release it earlier and see what people think. So I'll probably play more Calico at some time. But quite frankly, it is an adorable game. It is cute. It is quite nice. And for a pickup from a bundle, it's not too bad. Obviously, it's a new one for me, but, you know, you can't win them all. Next game is X-Morph Defense. Now, I've seen this game pop up in bundles a couple of times, and I wasn't too excited about it because I hadn't played it yet, obviously. So I was like, it just looks like another classic like tower defense game that's sort of been created what appears to be for a mobile phone, very low level, sort of don't really care about. However, while I was opening this all up just before, I looked down at the Exor Studios Complete Pack and noticed it has Rift Breaker. Now, I know I haven't done a video on Rift Breaker before, in general, but I had a great time with Rift Breaker, and I probably will come back to it eventually. I played it over the holidays. I bought it on a whim a couple of years ago when it first came out. Oh, actually, not when it first came out. Probably would have, it would have been when it first came out. And I had an absolute blast with it. So the fact that they've got that X-Morph Defense is made by them, it makes me a little bit more hopeful for what this game will be around just a typical tower defense game. But we'll see. We'll see. Either way, it is one you've probably played before. It goes on sale quite regularly, and it also has bundled regularly. But still, it's something. Next one is Zombie Driver HD. Another game that's been in many bundles and been on many sales. It's one of those games, you know. A lot of people have it. I still haven't played it myself, but there we go. Zombie Driver. Yay. Some of these zombie games can be quite good, so yeah. Monaco. I actually did draw this on my Mountain of Shame, but it was before I was asking Para to play with me, so I never ended up recording it. So, because I couldn't get to work on single player. But that's okay. I've heard there are good things about Monaco, and the fact it's still around and still kicking after 2013, probably due to a boatload of yeah, it's colorblindness. Okay, a boatload of people constantly being given it for free. So yes. That's hilarious. All right. Def Squared. Not sure entirely what this is. It seems like a very simple co-op puzzle game. It says cooperation, communication, and robot explosions. Another game which will probably be a good one to eventually play with Para rather than attempting to play on the one controller like I've done a couple of times before. Remnants of Nezaev. Yeah, persistent platformer. You know what that means for me, which is not good. Not good at all. Don't like precision platformers, but if you like the look of it, it's probably one you haven't gotten before. I don't remember it being in a bundle, but I do believe I bought this quite cheaply on sale. This is one of the other games that was released by a Turkish game developer. Sorry, I had to say that better. So, yes. Planet TD, another Turkish developed game. Just seems like a very simple tower defense game. Was released in 2023, so like literally just a couple of months ago. It says it's very positive and it's relatively cheap. We'll see. Some tower defense games can be quite good. The thing is here, replayability of different strategies. That basically describes every game ever. You really need some progression, right? Possibly develop three levels for towers during the game, 6 different types of towers. Yeah, it sounds like a bit of, no offense, it feels like a bit basic in comparison to what some things can be. Really needs some progression to be interesting. So we'll see what it is like. But yeah, I mean, is it worth $2 or $3? Probably. Don't know. I guess we'll find out. Next one is Agent in Depth, another 2023 release game. This one's more of an action platformer, a little bit arcadey there. It definitely doesn't look like my sort of game, just based on, well, yeah. Sorry, just looking, I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. So we'll see. Apparently it's still in early access, which means, well, we'll see when it comes out. Hopefully they haven't, so hopefully they'll get it done and won't be in early access forever, but we'll see. Now this next one actually looks very interesting to me. It's called Lighthouse Keeper. Repair its broken parts, hunt for food to get by, gather materials, craft stuff, and it looks just beautiful and interesting. And yeah, this looks like a fun game to me. So yes.
Dear citizens of our perfect city, we proudly announce our new shuttle.
Sorry, I just realized the whole time I've been muting myself. The short of it was, look at it. It is what it is. It's very, very cheap. That's it. So yeah, it's got cats in it. I'm never a fan of cats. Oh boy. One to play with Para, perhaps.
To meet someone new in the Funplex.
Together, we can make the Funplex soar.
I wish I could do more. I wish we could do more.
What will you trade to realize your ambitions?
So, are you gonna quarter up or not?
Everyone has a dream they're chasing.
Arcade Spirits, now available.
Now, if this has full voice acting, that would be pretty amazing. Not many visual novels do. It's got pretty interesting art style to it. Okay, that's clearly a Scooby-Doo reference. I just have no problem with this. It's a game I think I already did own. I must have picked it up at some point over the time. I don't think it's been in a bundle, but why not? I do like visual novels, whether they're good or bad. So yeah, it's a good one. I think that's a good pickup. Then we have Non-Stop Raiders. It's a beat 'em up, hack and slash, and another thing that's worth like $3. So we'll see. It says it's positive. I don't know why it was on my mostly positive list. Wait, what's on the very positive list? Why is on my very positive list was only positive? Must have been a mistake on my behalf. That's all good. Then the Inner World.
The adventure genre the famous game designer Friedrich Nietzsche hasn't mentioned already. Nevertheless, I'd like to introduce you to the Inner World.
Now, this is another one I don't really want to watch too much into because I actually quite like point-and-click adventure games. And this one looks quite charming. It gives me very much Curse of Monkey Island vibes. We'll see how the gameplay plays out, but it definitely looks interesting. Maybe a little bit of a... There's a few different vibes there, isn't there? We'll see. We'll see what it's like. So adventure games can be really, really bloody good. Or they can be okay. What one will this be? Who knows? But I think it's a good pickup. I think that's an okay pickup. So, yes. Alright, well clearly we need some more reasons to get the bundle. And stacking is one of them. Stacking might look a little bit weird and a little bit strange, but it's made by Double Fine Entertainment, which can be either good or bad, let's be honest, but this is one of the very, very good examples of Double Fine. It is a beautiful, charming, lovely little adventure story where you play this tiny, tiny little Matryoshka doll, and you can go inside other Matryoshka dolls and just grow bigger and bigger, and it's really interesting. It sort of reminds me of Scrapland in the way that you take control of other people. In this one, you sort of just literally go inside them. You can go one size up and then one size up again. And each of the different characters you can inhabit will have different skills and abilities, which you can obviously use. It is absolutely charming. It is satirical. It is just a beautiful game to behold. Definitely a positive pickup if you don't already have it. So, yes. Now, this one is another one I don't know fully, but looks like it's a puzzle game, so fair enough. Make trains? Okay. It's another $3 game. Though on sale currently, so that's not really a fair thing to say. A lot of games go down that low. So I don't have much to say really. It looks like a very simple puzzle game. So that's okay. Well, I guess we'll find out. Guilty Gear 2, classic fighting game. Don't know much about it. So yes, X2 Reload, which implies it must be a remake. Still, fighting games can be quite good. It's got quite an interesting art style to it. It actually looks like a more modern take of a DOS game, so when they remade it, maybe it looked a lot different. But either way, unique and bizarre characters. Sounds good, actually. I think, yeah, that's not a bad pickup, and that's definitely a new one to me as well. Okay, Alchemist Castle. Yeah, it's just another platforming game. Nothing crazy, another $1.50 game. Yeah. I mean, it's very positive, so that's good, but I know I'm going to suck at it. Soul Searching! Soul Searching is a narrative survival game about sailing away from your homeland. This one, on the other hand, looks like more fun. This one looks stupid and crazy and weird, and I have no idea what it is, and quite frankly, it's another one I do not want to look into until I'm forced to play it on my mountain. So, yeah, I mean, look at all these, look at the randomness in the screenshots. That's so odd. So fair enough. Speaking of odd, no, this is just a very basic arcadey game. So, yep, nothing too crazy there. Another $7.50 one. Okay, this is another one I don't want to watch anything about at the moment because it looks bizarre and weird and just odd, and that I just don't want to know anything about it until I load up the game. So it's another $4.50 title. It looks absolutely crazy. 2019, okay. Now, this one is basically a game I've had on my wish list. You might be like, wait, why would you have a game like this on your wish list? Shut up, I can make my own choices. It's because it looks beautiful, let's be honest. It looks like basically we're going to get to see the world through the eyes of a cat, similar to Stray, but look at that art. Like, it's like they took the Monkey Island 2 art and just refined it dramatically, like the old school LucasArts adventure things. It just looks really good. It looks really good, and that's why I didn't back it. I had it on my wish list, despite the fact that cat, you know. Still, I'm sure some people will be happy to know I have this on my mountain now. It's definitely, especially Foosh. Next one, Project Chemistry. A very rare one for a bundle in that it's actually an educational game. I don't even know if it's actually a game at all or not, which is the interesting thing. It seems like it could be a series of puzzles, of like tasks, and I'm wondering how much it's going to teach. There's a few games which have actually transcended what it is to be educational. Things like Gazillionaire Deluxe, and things like what's the other one I was just thinking about moments ago? Ah, yes, the Human Resource Machine. Things that basically teach you concepts and teach you ideas without actually being like boring in any way. So if this one's very positive and it's about chemistry, I do have a vague understanding of chemistry until you see me on Space Chem. But, you know, that's okay. Did Space Chem even be uploaded? I don't think it's came out yet. Speaking of games that hasn't came out yet, this next one, also games, is a very loose interpretation. This says it's a walking simulator, and quite frankly, I'm not even sure if you can describe it as that. I mean, technically you are walking and it is simulating that, but the main focus of this game is basically listening to a very long-winded, 30-minute long monologue from the perspective of 20,000 different trees with seemingly different voices. There are definitely some duplicates there. Basically, you walk around a forest and have a story spoken to you. That is it. There is a payoff. Is it worth it? Don't know. I do know, but like, I don't want to spoil it to tell you if it's worth it. If you want to spoil it though, I actually do have this one coming out. I don't know when it's going to be. Probably not for a couple of months now because I'm quite ahead on my videos. But yes, sunlight. It is a thing that exists. Thankfully, because otherwise we'd all die. Oh wait, wrong sunlight. We are now on to the positive games. So games which are classed as being positive, not in any way something to write home about, but they are positive. So let's have a look at these games next. All right, the first positive game is called Hyper Gun Sport, and quite frankly, I think I need to watch the trailer and know what the hell this one is. So, yeah. Can I be the first to say, because, you know, I'm the only one saying something in this, that actually looks really good. I for one, welcome our cyberpunk volleyball overlords. That looks fantastic. Yeah, it's volleyball with guns. Okay. Sure. I would put that in the good column, yes. I mean, it's all positive. I think the only reason there's not more, I don't think the only reason it's not higher is because, yeah, it doesn't have more reviews. If this had more reviews and it kept going, it'd be overwhelmingly positive. So, okay. I hadn't considered that positive is the highest this game can get until it reaches a certain review counter. And look at this pixel art. It looks great. Oh, wow. This is cool. I like this one. That's a good random pickup. I like it. And then we have more Durlings. Just another one that looks like it was made in like 1995. Okay. Tribute paid to yet another arcade classic. Okay. Why not? It's another one that hasn't really received enough reviews to be given anything higher than a positive. I'm guessing that's going to be that's going to be what happens here, because this one's also 100% views. Yeah. So these are all games which basically people haven't played. Now this one just looks like a minimalist puzzle game, which I mean can be okay. Not really my cup of tea, but you know, fair enough. I see. And then we've got Soul Flow, 96%, 2.5D detective game. Unique experience with graphic style, story-based role-playing game. The player must gather information from others during the day and solve the murders. I mean, interesting how there's all these people in the foreground. You know what? It's only $4.50, but it looks interesting. Okay. Who would have guessed the positive games would be where the most surprises would be? Oh, another tower defense game. Yay! Apparently Turkey and Syria really love tower defense games. Can't blame them. Tower defense games can be quite fun. Is this one going to be better than the other one? Well, it's still in early access, but it was only released in early access last year. Let me just have a check of something in the description here. Each character game thinks differently. Your relationship changes with you the more choices you make. Every level, you take steps and vast possibilities in the interactive storyline. It doesn't say anything directly about... Oh, there we go. There's some stuff up there, so I'm guessing there must be some sort of a consistent... There must be some sort of a consistent progression mechanic, even if it's just the friendship system, which means that will make you want to play it more. Odd idea, but not bad. Guns and Fishes. Huh. Fish-packed action platformer. I mean, where are the fish? At the moment I see people. I don't see fish at all. I see people. These are all people. Where's the fish? I mean, even you seem to be a person with very yellow hands. Okay, there's a fish. I mean, it looks odd. It looks cheap. But at the same token, I'll give it a go. But I really do wish that it had more fish. There's one. Okay, so we must shoot fish for some bizarre reason. Okay. Okay, most of the reviews seem to be buy it full price. Yeah, I mean, I doubt people. Yeah, I guess that's why. I mean, it's brand new as well. In fact, wait, this is 2nd of February 2023. That's literally today. No, it's last month. Sorry, last month. I'm looking at my own thing. It's March. I was just flipped in my head. I'm Australian. We do it Okay, ignore that. It was a month ago. Okay, fair enough. Okay. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch it. It looks so surreal and weird. I just want to play it. So I have no idea what this is. It looks very strange. I hope it doesn't go full horror. It says, a stylish hack and slash game about an immigrant who takes drugs for her job. Players Anna finding a new job in a new country. I'm surprised this one's able to be sold in Australia. I guess it hasn't been rated here. Because usually Australia does not like drugs. Explore her new life, struggles, loneliness, relationships, and language barrier. Interesting. Interesting. I think this is another one which I can consider myself seeing and playing, as it could be quite unique. Though, gotta say, wonder if we can avoid doing drugs. And then we got Pix Ross, which just looks like a puzzle game with very simple logic puzzles. Okay. Not my sort of thing. But yeah, it's a Picross game. Okay, fair enough. If you know what this is, you probably know what this is. So let's continue. All right, next we have the mostly positive games. Now, mostly positive does not mean they're bad. It just means that they have not received as much positive accolades as the rest. They are still, as it says, mostly positive. So these are still good things to have, just not necessarily the best. So let's go look at these games and see what we think. So the first is Pathfinder Kingmaker Enhanced Edition Plus. Now this was a game. It's a CRPG, which is fun. These sorts of games I quite enjoy. In fact, this specific game I did mostly enjoy. It's one of those games where I definitely agree with the rating of mostly positive. It was good. I had a fun time for most of the game. And then it glitched out on me and I lost everything. I couldn't finish it up. So there you go. But otherwise, realistically, it is what it is. Now, what makes this game different than all the other CRPGs is it does have a city or empire building system as well. So you can go through there, and once you've done a short story segment, you can then go through and actually create and build your kingdom. It is quite engaging, if a little bit grindy. So yes, I played a fair amount of this game. If you like this game, you'll end up playing a fair amount of it too. So yeah, but as you can see, a lot of people are like, it's okay, but right. So, and I think that's essentially my rating, my review as well. I think I was just annoyed that it stopped working at the end, but yeah, all good. It's an okay edition. Next one, I have no idea what it is, but quite frankly, Into the Pit looks interesting. A little bit dark, a little bit creepy, but I'll never say no to an action roguelike. So that's fine. 2021 game release, $20, another humble original. Nothing to be too upset about, really. Next one is Space Crew Legendary Edition. This is one that my friend Rice, who is nice, loves. And Rice, who is nice, even gave me this game, and since I've received it twice on bundles, so there you go. Either way, I will play it eventually, I swear, Rice. Look, I played Dwarf Fortress. That's what I did, okay? Anyway, I have watched Rice play a fair amount of this game, and it was actually quite good. So it's a good pickup. It is a good pickup, full stop. It's not a mostly in my mind. I think it is just a good game to pick up. It's a little bit like Bomber Crew, if you haven't played that, but in space. It's got very much a feeling of FTL, so to a certain extent. So yeah, why not? The next one is a horror game. However, thankfully, it's one I already own, so I'm not going to be adding this to my mountain. It's already there. Lust for Beyond M Edition is basically the game Lust from Beyond without all the porn. There's a lot of porn in this game, apparently. Who knew? So, yeah. Is it a good pickup? I mean, if you like horror games, perhaps. If you like porn games, probably not. Probably go for the basic Lust from Beyond game. But, meh. Meh. Anyway, Little Orpheus. This is one of the other ones I've never actually heard about, but it looks pretty, and I know the Chinese Room I think they've made a few interesting games over their time, so I am looking forward to finding out what the heck this game is about. I would class this as a good pickup. And the final game from the mostly positive variety of games is Rim 9000. Rim 9000. Okay. I don't really have much to say about it, as it very much feels like an old school shoot 'em up that looks like it would make more sense on a phone. So there's that. Let's go look at the last lot of stuff. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So, sorry, I had to cut a little bit there because I accidentally didn't pause, apparently. I hope I didn't miss a game. If I did, I'll write about what the difference was in the back. I think the last game I got was it's okay. We'll work it out. So at this time, we are at the quote-unquote mixed games. Now, all these are solidly mixed because, quite frankly, that means that, well, that's all they are, right? There's no positive with a mixed current. Like, as I said, I gave these games the best chance they have. Now, when you've got a mixed game like this, it's the most important thing you do is scroll down and just read what the reviews actually say. No good. Go buy anything else but this. Motion blur and depth of field reserved to not turn off, even for any edits. Okay, so it looks like it's primarily that the game is poorly optimized and is not balanced very well. That's a pretty good reason to hate on it. So Gotham Knights, don't really care about it. I'm not really a big Batman fan to begin with, so I'm not really surprised in this. Next one, Worms Rumble. The original Worms was really good, but they never really captured it as much. I remember playing Lero as well as a kid, and I had much more fun with that. This one is primarily multiplayer. It says online PvP, so I guess that is kind of a limiting factor as well, which is a shame. But yes, Worms game that doesn't have local multiplayer. The online stuff is cool, but nothing like classic games. Oh dear. There's no single player. I would enjoy that way more than playing level 1 on literally my first few games against players with level 50s. Couldn't find a game. Okay, so impossible to play solo. This is one you will not see me play on my Mountain of Shame then, clearly, because it's not going to happen. No local multiplayer, really. So you can't even do Steam, like, you can't even do the Steam distance multiplayer thing. It just doesn't work. What sort of a horrible... I'm honestly shocked that this game is only mixed and not very negative or negative. That seems irredeemable to me. But okay, that's just me. This is why we read the reviews once again. Now this one's interesting. Stop Gamer RU, Russian site, 5 out of 5. PC Invasion, never heard of them, 9 out of 10. Gaming Trend, 95 out of 100. Okay, so there's a bunch of positive reviews here, like really surprisingly positive reviews there. The game itself looks kind of old school, and I guess that's the art style it's going for. Yeah, Stop Game, Dark Station, Critical Hit, Games.check.cz, Eurogamer. So Eurogamer is the only one I actually know there, and they only gave it a 7 out of 10. Metacritic gives it 8, and of course, Thingy gives it 6. So it's a pretty middling game here, all things considered. Let's have a look at the reviews. Fun, visually stylish, mechanically engaging game. Interesting. There are a few to be sure. Unfortunately, I can't recommend playing too much of it. Okay, so saying it's an okay game. Be disappointing. Okay, this is a positive review. It's one of the best and most faithful recreations of Lovecraft's class work. However, it's been abandoned. Oh. So it sounds like the game is good, but just hasn't been touched or expanded upon or even released any sequels despite being having a cliffhanger. That's a sad end. So Stygian. Okay. Next one is Fire Girl. This is another one I had on my wish list before it came out. I mean, come on. It looks interesting. It's got upgrades. It's got firefighting. It's got beautiful art style. How could this be bad? Let's find out and be disappointed together. Bit racking. Randomly generated levels not go off platforming. Needs more testing and polish. There's no map. Boring. Super grindy. Okay, so it sounds like there's nothing specifically wrong with it, that they just released out of early access too early and so just didn't care anymore. Probably didn't sell as well as they thought. That's another disappointing story. This is the thing about mixed games. You'll often find a boatload of really disappointing stories. Let's see. Next one is Zell. I've never seen this game. When I saw it pop up, I was like, that actually looks kind of interesting. An epic 3D sci-fi fantasy action adventure game. So many buzzwords. Let's go down and see what the reviews say of this one. Every 10 minutes, a new game-breaking bug. Now, one of those games that could have been good if the dev did some basic research on quality of life. Very cool idea. Story's interesting, but too many bugs. Looking forward to playing this game full release. Gameplay bugs. So once again, we're seeing a game that's been let down by the fact it's sort of been abandoned by the looks of it. Or has it? The last patch was in 2022. Looks Looks like there was another patch in this year on the 31st of January. I think this is one that it's not a bad thing to have, and I really hope they work on it more. And hopefully having more people buy it in terms of this bundle will motivate them to do more. Because quite frankly, it does look beautiful. It does look really interesting. If it's got a bunch of game-breaking bugs, though, that's a disappointment. Next one is Detached. It's space. I like space. Apparently, it's a non-VR version of a VR game. I'm always concerned about this. I would very much like if this had actually contained both the VR and the non-VR version. Then I would have been much more happy about receiving something like this. I think the fact that it's not in VR, but it's meant to be, is sort of like a bit of a limiting factor, and that we'll see how well it goes. Because often these sort of games are designed for beautiful vistas like this and very specific gameplay. It's hard to push it back into a flat and have it actually still be good. Let's see what the reviews say. Atrocious controls. The Z key in the middle of the keyboard. Is the middle of the keyboard for a huge portion of the world. Developers in the game, you better not let go of WCD to reach all the way over here. Okay. Can't recommend the game if you don't have VR. Be a good game if it would play. Okay, so some people... Well, this is 8.1. I'm sorry. It's a 2018 game. If you're trying to run it on Windows 8.1, that's a you problem, not an it problem. But it sounds like it just didn't make the transition from VR to flat very well, which is understandable. This is another game which has been in multiple bundles. I think it's been in a board game bundle, and it's also been in another bundle completely unrelated as well. The Amazing American Circus. It is another deck building game. I always thought this one looked interesting. Hasn't rolled into my mountain just yet. Let's see what negative reviews say. Nope. Bugs. Good mechanics. Not for him. Okay, fair. Waste of money. Mediocre deck builder. That is no choice of difficulty. If you fail 3 shows, the game ends. Ooh. Well, that's a bit much, isn't it? It says this is not a roguelike card game. By game built around a campaign, and though you lose frequently. Ooh, that's a bad combination. So it's a roguelike that's not actually a roguelike. It's a rogue. Yeah, it's a roguelike rather than a roguelite, which is okay. Alright, fair enough. Alright, last lot of games. Then we have Soul Blight, a roguelike RPG. Honestly, I'm really disappointed to see this on the mixed list because it doesn't look that bad in terms of just clicking around and looking at it. I do like top-down roguelikes. That's like my jam. The fact it's not very good is disappointing. Yeah, it's saying the art style is a little bit weird. The combat isn't fun. Yeah, chock full of good ideas, interesting premise, but yeah. Poor controls. Couldn't play long in 10 minutes. That's a shame. It looks quite fun. 2018 though, I don't think this one's going to be dealt with again anytime soon, so that's a disappointment. Hack and Slash, another one. Another mixed title by Double Fine. Okay. Oh, was this their educational game that they made a while back? I thought you had to... Yeah, the concept of hacking an object is fun. It's not much else. Yeah, the part where you actually have to code is not good. I develop applications for a living. Oh boy. Yeah, people are quite disappointing. I think I remember hearing about this and having it not be fantastic. It sort of put itself forward as like a way to learn programming, but it just missed the mark. Disappointing, not surprising. A mystery exploration set in outer space. Okay. Experiment. No instructions. What does it mean? Abstract. Doesn't work well with mouse on Windows 10. That's a bad one. Cool atmosphere and style. Puzzles are annoying and unpleasant. So it's just a very sort of puzzle game. That's kind of a disappointment. Okay, we got a few games left though. Crystals. Now this one is beautiful, and I think it's familiar to me, but I don't know why. A love letter to classic JRPGs. Why is this one mixed? It looks beautiful. The game looks really fun. Why are you mixed? I need to know. I am disappointed to know that you are mixed. Like, you're mixed. You're like 74 on Metacritic mixed. You're okay. Crystals, wonderful game. Heartfelt presentation. Story is passable. But after 2/3, oh. The interesting mechanic of being turned to an enemy in the past or future itself becomes negligible. So basically they have an interesting idea that they don't pull through for the rest of it. That is... yeah, okay. Nothing too crazy there. Like, I'm sure it'll still be interesting for most of the game, but it's kind of disappointing, really. Orbital Racer, 26 reviews and mixed. Not great when you've got so few reviews and also mixed. Doesn't say much for where you're going to go, but let's have a look. Lack of content. Could be a good game. Doesn't run well. Poor controls. Okay, fair enough. It's a shame when you see a game like this. It's just been like completely like not touched. So that's sad. Second last game is Symmetry. Last in the mixed column. Research spaceship reaches an abandoned planet. Nothing is what seems. Everything goes out of control. Okay, let's have a look at what's wrong with it then. Oh, wow. Repetitive, not worth more than €2-3. Oh, dear. It looks like most of these are just saying it's middling, but glorified clicker. Gotcha. I mean, it does say time management in there, so fair. I guess maybe the fact it's a clicker, but sort of puts itself as a time management might be what's happening. Ooh, that is very expensive for a game if it's just like an idle game. Okay, fair enough. And finally, Frick Inc. Now, this game is interesting. It doesn't even have a score yet because it hasn't actually received enough reviews. And the saddest part is, it was released in 2020. So this game has just never had anyone decide they wanted to give a damn about it. Which is quite sad. Quite sad indeed. The people who have tried it say it's okay. Saw a game on YouTube. Thought it was very fun and challenging. Simple game, but extremely fun. And they all did purchase it from the Steam store, so fair enough. That is one of the problems with Steam. It's really hard to, you know, just stand out. And a lot of people just won't. So, yeah, that's the bundle. That's everything that's in the bundle, except for if I missed one because I didn't record it, in which case I'm pretty sure it was either Zell, which I thought was quite good looking, or one that I didn't think I really cared about. So hopefully we didn't miss out on either of those. But, the big question here is, do I think it is actually worth it? I mean, obviously it's worth it for charity, but ignoring all that, would I have bought this if it wasn't for charity and if it wasn't for my mountain? Probably not. Yeah, Rim, that was the other one I almost missed. So yeah, it's interesting, and there's a few interesting games here. If it was not a charity bundle, I probably would not pay it or buy it. Since it is a charity bundle, I will probably buy it. I don't see why I wouldn't. I've got games I can give away there. Not as many as I would like, but still, it's something. Overall, though, it's another big bundle. I really hope we don't get any more of these anytime soon. There was another charity bundle on Fanatical that was quite good. I wish I'd posted about it because it was a really, really good bundle. That wasn't very. It was for something particular, but I don't think it was any like big world-changing thing. So I was like, okay. But these charity bundles can actually be quite interesting. So if you like the look of this one, feel free to pick it up. If you don't like the look of it, or want to give money to this Turkey and Syria earthquake relief bundle, then in fact, it says Turkey, which might not be the same as Turkey. So I'm sorry if I've been saying the wrong country this whole time. But yeah. that's enough for now. If you like it, tell me. Tell me which games you like. Did you buy it? Did you skip it? What's your opinion on some of the mixed titles? Like, are there any titles here which you think you want to play and try yourself? And any titles you're looking forward to be playing on the mountain? Yeah, so I guess that's that. I'll put this up onto YouTube today, and hopefully it'll come out later tonight or sometime in the early mornings after when I'm asleep. And hopefully it helps someone. So thank you for joining me today on this surprise Eruption of Shame. I should say I will be coming back with more Eruption of Shame, obviously, next week when we have the next Humble Bundle coming out. And the next Humble Choice and the next lineup of Amazon games. If you haven't been paying attention, be sure to check out the Amazon Games bundles because there was only a couple that were available at the start of the month. Now you can claim the rest of them. Okay, I did post onto well, the YouTube community tab for a couple of them, but I definitely dropped the ball a little bit on that. So yeah, thank you for joining me. This has been my Eruption of Shame. See you next time. Goodbye.